Hello students. Today we shall solve few of the questions that were asked in this year's CSAT paper, and we shall see how simply we can solve them and how simply, if we know certain basic concepts, if we have some clarity, how easily we can deal with CSAT paper. That's the objective today. So we are launching this course is CSAT 2023 rather, and it is starting from 26th of September. This is something about myself. You can take a note. Not that is not the objective of today's discussion. So this is the first question. What is the smallest number greater than 1000 that when divided by one of the any one of these numbers leaves a remainder of 3? So all you need to know in this question is what does this divisibility mean and what does the remainder mean. Basically, there is some number, you divide it, you try to divide it by any one of these numbers, and always the remainder is 3. So if we remove that 3, we get a number that is divisible by all these numbers, or in other words, that is a common multiple of all these numbers. Now, where have you heard this term common multiple elsewhere? It is in LCM, or least common multiple. So all we have to do is to find least common multiple of these numbers. Now, I don't know if you are aware how to find LCM of these numbers, but we can do it very simply. You just need to write prime factorization of all these numbers. Of course, we shall discuss all this in detail in classes. Right now, I'm just okay. This is the prime factorization of all these numbers, and to find LCM, we find the maximum powers. Maximum power of 2, it is here, 2 square. Maximum power of 3, it is 3 square. Maximum power of 5 is here into 5. So this is the LCM, which is 180. Now we want to find the smallest number greater than 1000. Okay, and every common multiple of these numbers is also a multiple of LCM. That is one of the basic properties of LCM, or it follows directly from the definition of LCM, which is a least common multiple. So there are other common multiples, and which are multiples of this 180 as well. Now the question is, which of these common multiples is number greater than 1000, just greater than 1000, but a multiple of 180. Now if you know a table of 18 5s are 90, so 180 into 5, it is 900, not greater than 1000, but 180 into 6, it is 1080. This is greater than 1000, and we add 3, which was the remainder, to get this as an answer. Because I had to explain you, it took some time, but if you solve it directly, it should not take more than 40-50 seconds. Okay, let's go to next question. Now see, this is very simple question again. All you have to do is to know what prime factorization is. That is all. Now there is a 2-digit number P. Let's see that there is P, which is like XY, and Q is like YX. Okay, it is a reversal of those digits, and multiplication of those two numbers is given as 2430. All we need to know is the prime factorization of this number 2430. Now 2430 is equal to, I'm just doing it directly, 2 into 3 raised to 5 into 5. Okay, let me write it in expanded form. 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 5. Now this is what P into Q is. We just have to divide these two numbers, this entire multiplication, into two groups, one of which is P, one of which is Q, and we just have to check which of them are following this property, that they are reversal of each other. Now both of them are two-digit numbers, so can this be one group and this be another group? This is just one-digit number, 2 into 3, 6, so that is not allowed. Now let us check this group. 2 into 3 into 3, what is this? 9 into 2, 18, but this is 81 into 5, that is a 3-digit number, that is also not allowed. Now let us check this group 1 and 2. What is this? 3 into 3 into 3 into 2? It is 54 and this is 45. Are they reversal of digits? Yes. This is just simple trial and error after you find prime factorization. 54 and 45 are the P and Q, and difference, it is 9. There is more formal way of doing this, but that is more lengthier. So we shall discuss that in class. You should know how to do it, but in exam, this is the way you follow. Now consider the following statements with respect to natural numbers. So see, the question, examiner expects you to know what natural numbers are, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. P and Q are that. Then P is a prime number and Q is a composite number. So examiner expects you to know what are the prime numbers and what are the composite numbers, without which you cannot solve this question. Now, prime numbers are those which have only two factors, 1 and itself. Composite numbers are those which have more than two factors and which is not 1. Okay. So that is the definition of prime and composite numbers. So now, see the first statement. Can P into Q can be an odd number. When can multiplication be odd number? When both the numbers are odd. So can there be a odd prime number? Yes, 3, 5, 7, there are so many. Can there be an odd composite number? Yes, there are so many, 9, 15, 21 and so on. So this can definitely be true, right? Now Q by P, can it be a prime number? Now Q is a composite number, so it has more than two factors. So if Q is equal to P square, it has more than two factors. There is 1, there is P, there is Q, or P square, and divided by P, it is P, a prime number. So this is also true. P plus Q, can it be prime number? Definitely. P take 2 as a prime number and Q 9, 2 plus 9, 11. It is a prime number. All these statements are very true. If you don't want to do something like this, you can just take initial few prime numbers, initial few composite numbers. If you know that, and you try to see if any of these statements are valid, because the question is can be. Even if you find one case, you are done. So can P and Q be odd number? You can take 3 into 9. That is odd number. Here you can get again anything like 4 by 2. It is a prime number. So all these are possible cases. You can put values and verify, or you can do something like this. But you need to know the definitions. You need to know what are prime numbers, what are composite numbers. That is more important. Conceptual clarity about that. This is again very, very simple question. All you need to know is prime factorization. See how many questions from this basic arithmetic are being asked. Now, this is some long multiplication. Okay, this is some number and we want to divide that number by 1261. Now, you might get frightened by seeing this, but don't worry, this is very simple question. All you need to do is find prime factorization of 1261. 1261 is equal to, now again, how do you check prime factorization? You see which prime numbers are its factors. You start with 2, you then go to 3, then 5, then 7, then 11, and then you come to 13 and you find that this number is completely divisible by 13. Now, it means two things. It means you need to know initial few prime numbers. It means you need to know how to divide two numbers. It means you need to know tables of initial few numbers, which will make calculations very easier. Okay. So if you know the table of 13, you can perform this division very quickly. And the division comes out to be 97. So 1261 is equal to 13 into 97. Now once you find this, you just need to divide this number by 13 into 97. What is 13? Here 97 is in the numerator, denominator. We can cancel it because there is multiplication in numerator, there is in denominator. Also there is only multiplication, we can cancel. Now is there 13 coming up anywhere in the numerator? Definitely 13 ones are 1, 13 sevens are 91. So this long multiplication is completely divisible by this denominator or this number 1261. In that case, by definition, remainder is 0. Very simple. See, again, a question very similar to prime factorization, but here examiner expects us to focus only on one prime number, that is 3. Other number is irrelevant because there would be other factors of this huge multiplication. Examiner says don't worry about that, that is some multiple, that is some number, that is irrelevant for this question. Only I want you to focus on how many times 3 appears in this long multiplication. Now when will be 3 appearing? It will be appearing as 3, it will be appearing as multiples of 3. What are the multiples of 3 in this long multiplication? Here is 3, okay. There is 3, there is 6, there is 9, there is 12, and there is 15. These numbers have 3. All others numbers, they do not contain any 3 or power of 3, right? So now in this multiplication, how many times does 3 appear? Here it appears once, here it appears once, here it appears twice, because 9 is 3 into 3, 3 squared. So 3 appears twice here, right? Here it appears once and here it appears once. So how many times 3 appears? 2 plus 4, 6. So 3 raised to 6, maximum value of m is 6. How much time did it take me? 30 seconds with explanation, right? So it should take you even less than that in solving this question in exam hall. Okay, consider this question. Very basic concepts are used here. Again, only thing is you need to know what the integer is and what are the properties of integer. Is x an integer? That is the question. And apparently this question seems to be from data sufficiency, but even that arithmetic is involved. Okay. Statement 1, x by 3 is not an integer, right? Then can we say that x is an integer? Definitely not. We can't say that, because x by 3 not being integer has nothing to do with x being an integer not, and 3x is an integer. So let us take example, because there is x here and 3x is an integer. Let us take x equal to 1 by 3. So 3x is an integer, right? 3x is 1, 1 is an integer. So can we say that x is an integer? No, definitely not. Let us take same x in statement 1. X by 3 is not an integer. What is x by 3? X by 3 equal to 1 by 9. It is not an integer. Yes. Can we say that x is an integer? No, x is a fraction. Combining these two statements, can we say something? X is an integer, 3x is an integer, plus x by 3 is not an integer. Our x equal to 1 by 3 followed those two conditions as well, but still x is not an integer. So nothing can be said about it. Statement 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer this question. These are very basic properties of integer, where p by q or p by q being an integer or not being an integer does not imply anything about multiple of p by q. That is what the question is, right? Basically, integer multiplied by fraction may not be an integer, and we can say nothing. We cannot form an equation out of these two statements combined as well. So we cannot solve it uniquely for integer. Now see, this question requires you to only have skill of mathematization, that is to convert this word problem into equation. Whatever the information that is given in the problem, you just have to plot it and you'd have to solve equations. That is all. Now see, A has some coins, A gives half of the coins and 2 more to B, B gives half of the coin and 2 more to C, so on and so forth, and finally D, how many coins D has is given. We just have to answer how many coins A have in the beginning. Now let us assume A has A coins, B has B coins, C has C coins, D has D coins. So if A has A coins, A gives half of the coins and 2 to B, right? B gives half of the coins plus 2 to C. C gives half of the coin plus 2 more to D. And now what is given? Number of coins D has is the smallest 2-digit number. What is the smallest 2-digit number? It is 10. You need to know this. This is the smallest 2-digit number. Now you just solve. If D is equal to 10, what is C? Can you solve? It goes here. and then there is multiplication by 2. So C is equal to 16. Put it here. C is equal to 16. So what is B? B is equal to 28. Minus 2 into 2. Minus 2, 14 into 2, 28. And if B is 28, what is A? Minus 2, 26 into 2, which implies A is equal to 52. I did nothing. I just solved the equations that are coming up, and answer is here 52. Only skill that was required is to convert this word problem into equations. See, another one, same thing, same skill required, nothing else. A person X wants to distribute some pens to 6 children. Okay, A gets twice the number of B, 3 times of C, 4 times of D, 5 times of E, and 6 times of F. So what is the minimum number of pens X should buy so that number of pen each one gets is an even number? Now you need to know what are even numbers. Even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, minus 2, minus 4. But because these are number of pens, they will always be integer. They will always be natural number rather. Okay. Now you have two options. You have to form an equation. So what quantity do you assume as your unknown? There are generally two things we need to remember here. We can assume total number of pens as X and then try to solve. Or if the question has lot of information about one thing, one unknown, then that quantity we can assume as X. So as equations formed are very simple. Now in this equation, in this question, most of the information, in fact all of the information is about how many pens A has. It is given that A has twice the number of B, A has thrice the number of C, A has 4 times the number of D, and so on. Everything is given in terms of number of pen A gets. So that is the quantity we will assume as our unknown. So let A has X coins. Fine. Now, what is the total number of coins that we want to find out? Total number of coins is equal to whatever coins A has plus whatever coins B has, which is half of X, plus whatever coins C has, plus whatever coins D has, plus whatever coins E has, plus whatever coins F has. If you can form this equation, you are almost through. You have almost solved this question. This is the skill that is most relevant in our CSAT paper. How to form equation out of given problem. Okay. Now all you have to do is add these fractions, addition of fractions. I hope you know. You just have to find LCM of all these numbers, which is 60. This addition you can try it out, or we can discuss that at length in class. How to add fractions. The addition comes out to be into X. Okay. Now total number of pens is this number. So how many pens X has, or actually A has? X is equal to 60 by 147 into total number of pens. Okay. Now, what does this tell you? Number of pens X has is this fraction into total number of pens. So, can number of pens X has be a fraction? No, pen is a single one, right? Pen is a distinct quantity. You can have 1 pen, 2 pen, 3 pen. You cannot have half a pen or 3 by 2 of a pen or some 3.33 of a pen. That is not possible. So whatever this number T is, it has to be multiple of 147, because 147 has to be cancelled from here. I think you got it. This number has to be such that total number of pens has to be such that 147 should get cancelled here. So T has to be multiple of 147. So T can be 147 or 294 or ... Okay. Smallest of them, we want to find minimum number. Minimum number is while 147. If the question had no this condition was not there, then our answer would have been 147 simply. But see that there is this condition. So every one of A, B, C, D, E, F has to get even number of pens. Now with 147, we just have to check if that is being followed or not. So if T is 147, then x is 60. If t is 147, x is equal to 60. So A gets 60 pen, B will get 30 pence, even number. C will get 10 pence. A will get 30 pence, B will get 20 pence, even number. C will get 60 by 4, 15 pence. No, odd number of pence were given to D, that is not allowed. So answer must be 294. See, the most important skill in this question is forming this equation and then realizing that pence cannot be fraction. Fine. Now see, this is a very peculiar question where examiners intent is to test if you know the integers. So what are integers? How are they different from natural numbers or whole numbers? Integers are all those numbers of the form -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. These are our integers. Now, what is given? Sum of 3 consecutive integers is equal to their products. Can we form an equation out of those? Again, your skill of mathematization is at test here, and your knowledge about divisibility. How do we divide numbers? What are the rules of division? That again is at test. We'll see how. So, firstly, we need to form equation out of this. So, sum of 3 consecutive integers is their product. Now, I'll take sum of those 3 consecutive integers as x minus 1, x and x plus 1. Why have I chosen this and not x plus 1, x plus 2? To ease our calculations. You can choose either one of them, but this is nothing gets cancelled here. Here minus 1 and plus 1 gets cancelled. So addition in sum of 3 integers, we'll just get 3x. Here we will get 3x plus 3. So it is just easier to not choose this and choose this. That is all. You can choose that, but that will add a little bit more to calculation. So instead I'll take these 3 as consecutive integers. Now what is their sum? This plus this plus this, 3x. Now what is their product? X into x minus 1 into x plus 1. So we have formed the equation. This is the equation that a question gives us. We want to find out how many such possibilities are there. Now look at this equation. Can we cancel x from both sides? We can cancel only if x is not 0. So there are two cases. If x is 0, what do we have? And if x is not equal to 0. If x is 0, what are the 3 integers? Minus 1, 0 and 1. Do they follow this property? What is their addition? 0. Sum minus 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 0. What is their product? 0. 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So this is allowed. So this is 1. If x is not 0, then we can cancel it surely. Then we have 3 is equal to multiply this x square minus 1. So x square is equal to 4, which implies x is equal to, which square is 4? 2. X is equal to plus minus 2. So there are two possibilities. You can have plus 2 or you can have minus 2, because we are asked integers. Negative numbers are there in integers. So here there are two possibilities. Here there is one possibility. Answer is only 3. Okay. See how important this topic of arithmetic is. You can't simply gloss it over. Again, this apparently seems like a question on ages, but this is a question on mathematization. How do we convert this word problem into equations? That is what the question is. That is where the focus of question is. See, we are asked what is the age of Manisha. Just see the statements. Manisha is 24 years younger than her mother. So age of mother is also involved. So we have age of Manisha, age of mother. Both of them are unknown. From here we get one equation. From here 5 years later their ages will be in the ratio 3:5. So we'll get two equations. We have two unknowns, we have two equations. We can definitely solve them if we frame the equations. Now let age of Manisha is equal to X and mother is equal to Y. Fine. There are two unknowns. We can assume we can solve two unknowns because we have two equations. So Manisha is 24 years younger than her mother. So X plus 24 is equal to Y. Now is this sufficient to find X? Can we find X from here? Can we find two unknowns using only one equation? Never. So statement 1 cannot be enough. Okay, statement 1 cannot be sufficient because there are two unknowns and only one equation. Statement 2, 5 years later, Manisha's ages of Manisha and her mother will be in this ratio. Ratio is just division. So 5 years later, age of Manisha will be X plus 5, age of mother will be Y plus 5, and they are in the ratio 3:5. Now this is also an equation when you cross multiply. There are two unknowns in this equation, X and Y. So is this equation sufficient? No. To solve two equation in two unknowns, we need two equations. One equation can never be sufficient. So this is also not sufficient. But combined, there are two equations, there are two unknowns, both will be sufficient. You don't need to solve the question. You just need to answer if they are sufficient. So definitely they are sufficient because there are two separate equations. They are sufficient to answer the question. That is what the question is. It is from linear equations and mathematization and not from ages or data sufficiency. Now this question, see, very simple question. All you need to know to where to begin. Increase in price of certain item. Firstly, we have increased the price, then we have decreased the price, then again price has been increased, and we are asked what is the net increase in the price. In such question, we'll always start with 100 because answer is given in percentage. What is percentage? Per 100, what is increase or decrease? That is what percentage means. Okay, so we'll start with 100. We are saying that there was increase of 25%. 25% increase over 100 is 25. So 25 becomes 125. Now see, then there was decrease of 20%. Decrease of 20% is basically 125, 20% of 125 was decreased. Now what is 20% of 125? 125 is equal to 20 by 100 into 125 is equal to 25. So 125 then decreased by 25. So it was remove 125 from 125. We again are back to 100. And now then there is increase of 10. Increase of 10% on 100, which is basically we have got 100 here. So it will go to 110. So from here we came to 110. So what is the net increase? From here to here, from 100 it became 110. So increase is 10%. If you begin with 100, it becomes very easy. Now, see, this is a geometry question. This is not a question from puzzles or general mental ability. This is a classic geometry question. You have to know so many concepts to understand the question. See, there are 8 equidistant points on a circle. So circle is involved. You need to know what is circle, what are the properties of circle. Then the question talks about right angled triangle. So you need to know what is a right angled triangle and what is the relation between diameter and right angled triangles. These are the things you need to know, and if you know them, which is very elementary geometry, very elementary geometry, you can solve this question within half a minute. You don't need to count or do anything else. Anything else is not required. Okay, so let me tell you what is right angle triangle. Right angle triangle you must have studied in school. It is one which has one of the angles as 90 degrees. That is a right angle triangle. Okay, fine. And there is property of circle that if you have a circle and if this is any diameter, diameter is a chord which is passing through center of circle, like this or like this or like this. Any 2 points on the circle, this line joins and passes through center. It's a diameter. and we join any point on its circumference like this to ends of the diameter, this angle is always 90 degree. This is a property of circle and diameter of a circle, and this is how diameter and right angle triangles are connected. So you join any point. So this is also right angle, 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 okay, like this. I hope you are clear. Now let us come back to our question. Now there are 8 equidistant points on a circle. So let us draw a circle. Let us draw a circle. I hope that is good enough circle. This is the center of circle. Let us draw 8 equidistant points. Okay. So these are 8 equidistant points. Let us join them. So this is a regular octagon which is inscribed inside a circle. Something like this is a figure. Okay. Now, how many right angle triangles can be drawn using these points as vertices and taking diameter as one side of triangle? So what are the diameters? This is one diameter, this is another diameter, this is another diameter, and this is another. So there are 4 diameters. This we have to take diameter as one of the sides of the triangle. So this is one side, and other sides, if these 2 points are there of triangle, we have to choose third point such that we form a right angle triangle. But we already know that irrespective of any point you choose, this will always be a right angle triangle, right? Because this is diameter. So this is always right angle. This is also right angle. This is also right angle. So for one diameter, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as right angle triangles. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 diameters. 6 into 4, 24 is the answer. You don't have to think about it if you know that every triangle would be right angle when we take diameter as one side. Simple. This is a geometry question. UPSC expects you to know elementary geometry. Okay, this is again a simple question on percentages. I hope most of you would have done that. But again, all we need to do is assume one quantity as x. I have included it only to tell you which quantity you can assume as x. Most of the times, whatever the question asks, we assume that as x. Or if too much information is given about some quantity in the question itself, then we can assume that quantity as x. Okay, so 2 candidates are there and 80% votes are cast. Okay, and there is no invalid votes, there is no nota, so either votes go to x or they go to y. And x got 56% of the votes that were cast, and he won by 1440. So see, too much information is given about votes that are cast, and the question asks about total number of votes. You can assume either one of them as x. So let x be total votes, total voters. Okay, so votes cast is equal to 80%, which is 0.8 x. Now x gets 56%. X gets 56% of 0.8 x. जिन्होंने नहीं वोट किया उनके तो वोट नहीं मिलेंगे, जिन्होंने किया है उनके 56% x को मिले. Basically, x can only get votes of those who have cast their votes, not of those who have not even come to polling booths. So y would automatically get 44%. And what is given? X won by these many votes. So how many votes? We just x won by 56% minus 44% is equal to 12% of 0.8 x votes, which is given as 1440. Now we have formed the equation. That is all. You can easily solve this. You can write 12% as 12 by 100 into 0.8 x is equal to 1440, and you can solve for x, which is what is asked, total number of voters. If you assume vote cast as X, you'll get X here, and then you'll have to solve what is of what number 80% is X. That again you have to solve. You can choose whatever you want. The answer when you solve this comes out to be 15,000. Now we come to last topic of our today's discussion, counting principle. These are one of the easiest questions which you should solve in 10 seconds. I mean, literally, I'm not exaggerating. This is actually a decimal point. Wait. Fine. We just have to find number of numbers of this form where X and Y are distinct and non-zero. Non-zero. So how many non-zero digits are there? 9 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we want to find out numbers of this form. There are 9 options for X. Non-zero digits, 9 are there. And we want to choose Y distinct from X. So if we choose something for X, we cannot choose that for Y. So for Y, you have 8 choices. Whatever we choose for X is unavailable for choice of Y. And we want to choose X as well as Y, X and Y, and means multiplication. Very simple. I mean, I have not even used much space here. You can do that calculation very easily if you know the counting principle. Now again, let's apply again same counting principle. Just you have to know divisibility test of 5. So arithmetic concepts you can find everywhere in the paper. Everywhere, one way or the other, UPSC will test your arithmetic concepts. Now we want a 3-digit natural number. Okay, natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. What is given? Without repetition of digits. And each digit is odd. What are the odd digits? 1, 3. Odd digits 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. These are the odd digits, right? And number is divisible by 5. When is this number divisible by 5? When at units place you either have 0 or you have 5. 0 is not an option because every digit has to be odd. So you must have 5 here. It is fixed. There is no choice. You cannot change that. There is always 5. So 5 is not available anymore because we cannot repeat the digits. So we only have 4 choices left for these 2 places. So now at this place you have 4 choices, and because we cannot repeat the digits, there are only 3 choices for this. Over. But there are multiple concepts involved. You need to know divisibility test of 5. You need to know odd digits, and you need to take care of without repetition. Okay. Last question. I hope you can do this very simply. Okay, I just want you to try it. Pause the video, try it out. It is based on same principle that we have used in above 2 questions, multiplication principle. Here we have one non-zero digit, one vowel and one consonant from English to be used in forming a password. Each password starts with a vowel, then end with a consonant. So here there is a digit and here this is consonant. Okay. How many vowels are there in English language? 5. A, E, I, O, U. How many non-zero digits are there? 9. And how many consonants are there? Because 25 are vowels, 21 are consonants. Now we have to choose vowel and digit and consonant, and means multiplication principle. You just multiply this. Simple. I hope this session was useful in telling you that what UPSC is requiring you to do, how much more attention on basic arithmetic, basic geometry, mathematization is there in recent UPSC papers. And if you have conceptual clarity, how simply and quickly you can solve these questions and have more time for other questions. So if you would like it, you can join our ACE CSAT 2023 course, where we will emphasis on this changing UPSC trends. We shall focus on arithmetic, geometry, mathematisation, all these skills we shall try to cultivate purposefully, and to gain more clarity about basic concepts rather than mugging of formulas, rather than running behind ready-made notes or anything. You can visit the course page on this link. Okay, so thank you.